Hi. I finished the PCT on the last day of September and cried and said my goodbyes to the people and the places, and I got my stuff out of storage and I said I would make a video. And that was over a year ago. I got stuck. To help, I was reading this book by Lamott about creativity. In it is a really good piece about dying. She says, "We are all terminal on this bus. To live as if we are dying gives us a chance to experience some real presence. Time is so full for people who are dying in a conscious way, full in the way life is for children. They spend big, round hours." That's how trail feels. It's not just like 1 hour, it's 3.5 miles. It's not 4 days, it's 2 towns. The seconds are slow, breathing deeply, feeling what it is to be here, to be a person. I didn't prep months or years in advance like a lot of people do. I burned out on my job in April, thought it'd be funny to hike the PCT, got a released permit April 20th, and I was on the trail May 5th at the southern terminus. There was a ton of water in the desert. It was a wet year. I was late for wildflowers, but the persistent ones were still in this dry sort of bloom. I existed in a beautiful little weather window. It was generally temperate, though even in May, the high peaks were covered in snow. I heard stories of people getting trapped in hailstorms and torrential rain, but I had sunshine for 700 miles. I was behind the bubble, but I caught up to it some, and I met some good friends along the way. 2023 was the highest snow year on record. Most people were skipping the Sierra, saying it was dangerous, impassable, or slow-going, miserable, hike ending. As I approached Kennedy Meadows South, the mountains on the horizon got granitic. It started to feel like graduation. You'd talk to someone and they'd immediately go, "What are you doing about the Sierra? Where are you flipping to? Where are you going to college?" I went in. About 5, maybe 7% of us did. It was the best, worst thing I've ever done. My group had fun against the odds. Not everyone did. Maybe most people didn't, but we did. I think about it all the time. The 2 a.m. starts, the faster hours in the morning with crampons on like hard ice, where you'd be in serious trouble if you slipped on a steep slope. Better have your ice axe out, babe. Numb fingers and toes till the sun hit you, and then the slog through afternoon slush, sun cups post-holing into rocks under thin ice or snow, the raging rivers as the snow melted, timing perilous crossings with the best time of day, the exhaustion and sleep deprivation, the constant slips and slides, the glissades, the bad glissades, the boot skis, the camaraderie, like the cosmic silliness of it all. There's this bond with the people who went through that I think I will probably cherish forever. I took off on my own in NorCal and sped up and got hurt and slowed down, as it goes. I enjoyed my solitude. I spent most days completely alone. Since most everyone had skipped the Sierra, there were very few northbound hikers near me. The Sierra had turned a lot of us cynical. I started to run into southbounders and snowbows who remarked I was the first happy nobo they'd seen. I was one of the last people to leave Syed Valley before the fire started, closing the trail section for the season. I got to Oregon and hitched up to trail days, and when I got back to Ashland, I walked into the hostel at 7 p.m. planning to have a quiet night and leave at 5 a.m., and somehow all of my friends were there, and our little bubble was reborn. We motored through Oregon, hiking big miles through misty green tunnel and near constant rain. Oregon is blissfully flat, except for when it's not. I met a dear friend at Crater Lake and we became inseparable. My pure Nobo hike was interrupted by the Shelter Cove fire. We skipped 92 trail miles north, which weighed on me heavily. My knees started hurting a lot. I would later learn they were slightly dislocating every time I took a step, and had been for 1,000 miles. I bought a knee brace and hiked back-to-back 45s against the best intentions of a brilliant physical therapist. Sorry, Blaze. I walked across the Bridge of the Gods exactly a year to the day after I had on my Washington section. And Washington came too soon. We slowed down, taking in the late summer days and moving through the sort of pre-nostalgia you feel for something that is slowly ending. We're going to miss this, was the vibe. In some ways, I already missed it. I saw the best sunrise I've ever seen from a bivvy on top of a high peak with dear friends. We had late starts, long lunches, and just tried to breathe it all in. In Leavenworth, early winter weather came in, a season-ending atmospheric river. Locals told us to quit, that we'd never make it, that we had summit fever. But we kept moving north and picked up new and old friends. We pushed through constant frigid rain in Glacier Peak and battled fire closures at the same time. We got to Stehekin, and our ragtag group grew smaller as the weather separated us. Our little group of Sierra kids would finish the trail in the snow, which seemed fitting. I said a heavy, permanent feeling goodbye to my friends at the terminus. Some of us would go into Canada, I would not. I said another group of goodbyes in Seattle over a 6-meal-a-day DIY food tour. And the day I was going to go back to LA, the Shelter Cove section reopened. So I got to piece together my continuous footpath, an uninterrupted line of my steps from Mexico to Canada all in a row. And then I was done. I was done. I had run out of trail. I tried desperately to keep those big round hours that Lamott talked about. I tried to keep the fullness of life, the presentness, and I didn't. I tried to find it again, and I didn't. I got glimpses of it sometimes, but I never really got it. I never really kept it. And it made it hard to make a video, to look back on this, because to look back on it in a lot of ways has felt like a failure. But in doing this, maybe you can see how trail would feel so good, and in making it, maybe I get to feel it a little bit too. So, thanks. I owe you one. See ya.